EmceeTV.
No shit. I even heard of comedians that were doing fucking fake alcohol on stage for a while. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because they didn't want to get too hammered and look a fool.
Yeah.
But
well, I imagine that's tough every night.
Well, no,
too.
I say yeah. Like, so what would be the benefit of fake alcohol?
Well, some of them got like a fucking
Reputation.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what I mean? Like Ron White. Ron White went on stage every night with a cocktail and a cigar, and people expected it, right?
Yeah.
And so then once he starts doing his bit, if he ain't got his fucking drink, people are like, "What's wrong with him?" I
Yeah,
mean, he's now come out and said that he quit drinking. But
Okay, I see what you're saying.
hey, what's good? It's your boy, that motherfucker Steve. You watching EmceeTV, the podcast, and as always, with me, I got.
Big Red West representing the west side of Des Moines, not to be confused with the coast, you dig?
And tonight's guest needs no introduction, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyways. I got with me tonight.
Bored dad. Just bored dad.
There we go, and that's
The
cool too.
bored father. Are you ever entertained?
Yeah, entertained, but just not for long. It's the amount of time that I'm entertained in between is the issue. So, gotta move on to the next thing always.
Turn this motherfucker off, because we about to get into some real shit, some real gangster shit.
Okay.
So real quick,
Some real dad shit.
yeah. One time, hit him with your pedigree a little bit, bro. Let him know who you are and how you got your start in this thing we call music.
Music-wise, man, I've been in love with hip-hop since I was young, man. I've said it a few times, but my first ever actual album that I ever purchased was Big Pun. So, and that was kind of on a whim.
That's dope, too, eh?
It was whim, and once you heard like sit in the middle of Little Italy, like once you heard real rap,
Hey.
and then like I tried to listen to other things. Like I still liked other music. I still liked Green Day, Sublime, other music and stuff. But I fell in love with hip hop at that point.
To say that your first CD ever was Big Pun is major, because that's one of them guys. You know what I'm saying?
Bar schemes were next level.
That's
Pun is still somebody
a superb introduction to hip hop.
As I loved hip hop and like as I fell in love with it, and then like realized like through doing, my own thing and starting to rhyme and nothing. I don't want to ever say that I took things as serious on that level as a lot of really touted rappers and musicians as yourself, but I loved it, right?
No doubt.
I had a passion for it, and there was that was like the bar, like that was like, you know what I mean, like got to be like Pun, like you know what I mean. Pun was crazy with that wordplay.
Definitely.
Kind of fell in the lines of lyrically. That's where I fell in love with music. Is for the lyricism.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what's kept me through it the whole time, and I just love all types of hip hop now. I'm not like I'm not too strenuous on like you gotta have your bars up. Like if somebody makes good music and it's not super bar heavy, that's okay too.
Yeah.
I'm not a hater. Like I'm definitely not a hater. I just like good music, and if you could bar out, I mess with that pretty heavy.
You fuck with that mumble rap?
I can't hate. Like I don't want to throw hate on something that I don't understand, because I don't want to sound like the old man that hates on the next generation. So I don't want to say that I mess with it. Like I don't want to say that that's mine. That's not my cup, of tea by any means. But I hate hating on the next person just because maybe I don't understand it.
Okay. Maybe I should take that approach.
That's how I roll, my baby.
That's what I'm trying.
That's how I roll.
When I wanted to like rap and battle rap and do those things, it was in that moment you're nothing. You know what I mean? It's all you're nothing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna crush you. Get out of my way. You're just a blockade in my way. But now, like sitting back and just appreciating music for music, like I can take that. I can take away that stance. I don't have to sit there and be so knife's edge anymore. I feel.
Okay.
I just don't. If somebody can make some good music, and they're pushing off their art, I'm not gonna hate on the next man.
Sure, I respect that.
Yeah.
So in the hip hop community locally, you're known for, I would say, the battle rap. Get You Some. You was the camera guy for Get You Some for a long time. Is that right?
Yeah, that was like probably one of the favorite, my favorite things I've ever done.
Hell yeah. Talk about your experiences shooting Get You Some Battle League and shit. What was that like?
I started on an iPad at the Secret Battles, their second ever Secret Battles.
Okay.
So...
Had they already been filming at that point? Like, did they have somebody else and then you kind of...
Yeah, so the person I was going to film didn't show, I think.
Okay.
And I just was like, yo, I'll film.
Got your back.
Yeah, I'll film. Like, I could do this.
Word.
And the very first battle I filmed was my own, and I lost the footage for it.
This motherfucker's fired.
It's the only battle that I ever lost footage for. And I didn't lose the footage. It filmed in slow motion.
Okay.
With no audio.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like a 4-hour long video by the end of it because of how stretched out it was.
Sure.
And I had no audio for the battle, so I could have put the battle out. I could have sped it up.
This was
out of slow mo and put the battle out, but it had
no audio.
It doesn't record an audio bar on there when you record slow mo on an iPad.
Sure.
So yeah, so I look like I literally.
Did you win or lose?
And I guaranteed lost. It was not a good battle.
It's not a coincidence.
But I'm not saying
it's not a coincidence.
I'm not saying it was a great battle it was Mac Patty that I battled.
Okay.
Shout out Mac Patty, dog.
He basically freestyled the whole time, and I basically freestyled the whole time, and I don't.
And it was supposed to be written, right? I mean, like,
yes,
or ideally,
but it was a thing like I was not prepared at all.
Sure.
And then I took a battle. And then they canceled the battle, and then the battle came back. So I was just not ready.
Right.
So I tried to come with, some pre-written, maybe 10 bars that I just had, and I was going to try to stretch them out a little bit.
Like, yeah, they going to hear this shit.
A little bit.
And it just felt like shit. It was horrible. But the best thing that happened that night was really meeting Robbie and Underdog for everybody. And then
shout out Underdog.
And just kind of getting my foot in the door, meeting those guys and being friends with them is what kind of led to everything.
Hell yeah.
And then I ended up, at one point, I don't know when it happened, maybe the second year that I was there, I started going to school for it. And then, so I started my film degree.
So, I'm going to put your ass on blast, dog. Top 5 Get You Some battlers right now.
Oh, top 5?
Top 5 Get You Some battlers.
Prof Alini.
This is the best. Okay, number 1, Prof.
He's got bars.
Future.
Yeah.
Crazy Baby.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who runs it now, right?
Yeah.
And
that's too. I say that, and I've said it before. Me and Crazy don't have a great relationship, and I don't work with Get You Some, and I wish there was, things were different or whatever, but I still don't ever throw shade. Super talented guy.
Right.
For sure.
Definitely still there. So that was 3. Did I have 3? Prof Lady, Future, Crazy Baby. Active right now, I can't say any of the new guys because I haven't watched their stuff. So I don't hate on you. I've heard there's a lot of newer guys that are really good.
Some dogs.
But then I would say Showtime and Hungry.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, for sure. And there's more. I mean, I could go on some of those, but those guys are just all they take their craft super serious.
We give you let's say we give you 2 honorable mentions.
Naj.
Shout out Naj.
Just because he's been doing it forever and the dude has his own style and he beat me in my first battle, I'll say Mac Patty because he's just
Mac Patty.
And he's been himself. He's never had to be anybody else.
Yeah,
be a battler.
I fuck with Mac Patty because he's authentic as fuck.
He's got a little squad that shows up with him.
Bro,
brings the cheerleaders.
Paddy wagon rolls hard, bro. The paddy
wagon rolls hard.
Bro.
My only opportunity to go to a Get You Some battle was when I went to link up with the homie A Ward.
Okay.
And chop it up with him down at the Muse. And I got to see Chef Trez against Profilini. And who was it? Hungry against A Ward.
Yep.
And and that was my first introduction. But it was
tardy for that
cool.
shit.
That was my last event I filmed.
So what was your most? Let me ask you this: what was your favorite battle that you filmed from Get You Some?
My favorite battle was the Future versus Profilini.
Future versus Profilini.
Those two, they went at it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And
I haven't even watched it.
Prof became I don't know, immortal. He just solidified himself to himself, and he really did a lot after that too.
Yeah. He went on to URL, right? URL TV?
He went on to a whole bunch.
I mean No Coast and things like that, but I think
his and I don't want to say that battle set him up for that. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know behind the scenes wise, but he did a lot right after that.
Yeah, that's dope.
He did a lot right after that. And when he battled in New York, me, him, and Cliff, we all traveled to New York in a car, bro. Drove one way 19 hours and back 21 hours.
Hello.
However, whatever the average is, because the time difference or whatever.
Shout out Prof, man. Hey, we need to get you up on here, Prof.
Yeah. He's one of the most passionate people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
He exudes. Yeah, he exudes passion. That man is. He is, whatever he does, just know that he's working harder at it than you.
I've heard people say that about him, that if he has a plan and he wants to get something done, you don't want to be the person in the way of that.
No, Prof is, he's a follow-through type dude, that's for sure. And he's, like I said, he's a passionate person. So having that, working around him and working with him over the years, it was definitely an honor. It was cool. Because actually, I don't know, a lot of people know, but I was in a battle rap group with Prof, Toe Tag Mafia.
Toe Tag Mafia.
Oh, dope. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So shout out what members was that?
Toe Tag was Prof, Cliff, Naj, myself, Showtime.
Okay.
Big dogs.
Showtime's brother.
Springs. Shout out Springs. And that was the group. And Dash too. Shout out motherfucking Dash.
Can't forget my brother from another. But
he
relocated. That was the group.
He relocated out to Colorado?
Yeah, he did. He's in Colo Springs down there living the Coloradian life.
That's what's up. Shout out to some Dash.
Man, talk about your relationship with Dash real quick, man. Just touch on that.
Man, that we've been, pretty much best friends since we was both 18.
Yeah.
You
guys started that 2MCs podcast?
Yeah. We started all that together. We ran that together, and I always give Dash his roses on that, because he's another person that is just a passionate person, and he really pushes himself at whatever he does. That man, shoes, he knows too much about shoes. You know what I mean? Hip hop, he knows too much about hip hop. I could say one letter wrong, in something, and he'll correct me just because he's passionate about it. He knows, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He knows what he knows, you know? And, but I've known that dude for a long time, been like a brother to me ever since, pretty much, you know? And it kind of started off with bikes and skateboards, to be honest.
Yeah, man, that's dope as fuck, dog.
I was skateboarding, he was biking, and then he started freestyling, and I started freestyling because me and my boy David, because I had left, I was in Vegas, and when I came back from Vegas, Dash had moved in, and then him and my other homie David were chilling, you know what I mean? And he's like, he spits his shit. And then Dash was a super ill lyricist. He was dope. He was super East Coast, the melatonin, wanna get the skeleton. You know what I mean? He had, he just rolled, everything was just, everything was a metaphor and a rhyme and you know what I mean? And here, I loved that style from Pun, you know? I really, really loved the whole, the killing of the beat, you know what I mean? Normally, a lot of music that beat hit, though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with lyricists destroy that beat. That beat is a sad puppy at the end, you know what I mean? And it's beating in the corner and it doesn't know what just happened to it. That's a lyricist, you know what I mean?
That's it, boy.
So you know, and Dash like really exuded that. So like, as I started to create music at that time with Dash, I feel like my influence kind of even further started to push towards that like East Coast lyricism style. But like I was always a West Coast guy because like I love like old school E40. I love Tupac. I love everything, you know, that represented the West Coast.
Yes,
all
sir.
the way from Ice-T, you know, like I'm not the guy that owned everything because I was raised in, you know, a very impoverished state, but I listened to whatever I could, and I was a radio master, bro. Like I was the Mr. Had my finger on the button. I'm gonna catch this track on this, you know. I'm gonna record this like straight up cassettes back in the day. Like that's how I really started to get my collection together. Was and two, when like we started to get those 88.1 style college radio stations started to come in. And we would get them. They would only be on the weekends for like 3 hours, though, right? 9 to like midnight or whatever. Or sometimes it was midnight to 3.
You got the double deck cassette, boy.
Yes,
Play your
and
shit.
we are, man, just ready to go.
I remember we used to do our fucking our answer machine on the radio and shit. So you know what I'm saying? They get ready to play your shit. You know what I'm saying? Have your answer machine set up, like record. Bloop. You know what I'm saying? That is hilarious, man. Times is coming back though, man. The cassette might return, man. Vinyl's here.
Vinyl is definitely back in a big way.
Alive.
It's weird how we went from, and I said this before, but it's weird how we went from trying to get the cleanest digital sound we could get, and adding artificial pops on like vinyl pops to the record and shit. And now we're like, fuck it, go back to vinyl, go back to analog.
Yeah,
take it back, take it back. We don't want this digital shit anymore.
That's just crazy.
As soon as you lose the physical of anything, like it becomes desensitized. I feel like you having pride in something like that. Like it takes care to own vinyl. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You can't just have that and just have it just stuffed somewhere. Like it ain't never. You know, you're never gonna hear anything off of it.
I feel like somebody got to teach you how to play records.
Right.
Facts.
And if you're not taught how to play records, you don't play records.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you just gonna fuck them up trying to do it.
Yeah,
that too. Yeah. There you go.
And my mom, she taught me. I credit her on that. She had like old Beatles records and stuff when I was a kid, and she used to play those. And that's something that I'm sure I'll inherit from her because she still has all of her old Beatle records.
Them joints is probably worth some change now, bro.
She has them in like but 2-3 years ago, I got her a nice box for all of her stuff.
Nice.
She had it in the same, like, pretty decently taken care of. Wasn't perfect, but it was, you know, stood how it was supposed to and everything.
For sure.
But it was still a cardboard box. She had them in there forever, and I got her a nice little box a few years ago. So, yeah, that was an investment, Mom, in myself in the future. So you better be handing those down to your boy.
Shout out to your mama.
Right. So just to run it back, I met you, I don't even know if you remember this.
Yeah, I do.
Forever ago at 8035.
Yeah, years ago.
We were running around, you guys were doing the 2 MCs podcast, and I was shooting pictures.
No, like I was literally like following you around because I had no idea what I was doing in the photo pit, bro. Like the podcast stuff I was comfortable with, I was cool, but as soon as they're like throw you in the photo pit, and I was like, bro, like I'm just gonna follow him because I know he did it a whole bunch. So I just followed, bro. You gotta follow somebody if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You know?
For sure.
And I did, and I had a lot of fun, and I took some really cool photos.
Well, appreciate that.
Yeah, dude, it was really cool.
Respect.
No, you were mad inspiring.
Well, thank you, bro.
For sure.
I didn't even know if you remembered that.
I do.
It's been so many years, so I was like, I don't even know if you remember like that connection or whatever. But
I do, yeah.
It's been a minute.
That.
So.
No, that was a cool experience altogether.
Hell yeah.
And I was a fish out of water, bro. Like I can't even explain to you how like out of place I felt, but I just kind of rocked with it.
I can't even remember. I was trying to remember who the headliner was, but I don't know. I think maybe Yellow Wolf. I think it was even before that, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. It was maybe the year or two before that.
I think it was Yellow Wolf when he performed.
Yeah. No, MGK.
Was it MGK?
It was MGK. Because remember, it was a split stage, and MGK, wasn't it? Isn't that the year that it was split stage?
I don't know.
Maybe. I went a few years in a row.
Yeah, I was down there for a while, and then when they kind of quit doing hip hop, I just kind of fizzled out and was like, that's not really my scene anymore. You know what I mean?
It turned into like kind of like folk music,
kind of hipster stuff.
Yeah,
bluegrass or whatever. Yeah.
But
I will credit them. We'll throw a little graphic up here somewhere because my man Big Boy is going to be there headlining this year at 8035. So big up to them.
Nice.
And I feel like they got. And no disrespect, I'm only saying an up and comer because I'm not real familiar with them, but I could just be off the beat on this one. But they got a young rapper from Chicago that's supposed to be performing as well, but I wasn't real familiar with him. So again, that's where I come at from thinking maybe he's an up and comer, but I could just be off the pulse on that one, and maybe this kid's huge as fuck.
Yeah.
But
didn't hear about it myself.
Yeah, but.
I definitely enjoy the process of it. It's really neat. You know, it's cool too because until you get down there and you realize that there's like 6 stages going, and there's just you walk from one end to another, and there's just a whole bunch. So if you really like art and music, you know, and you think that Des Moines doesn't have all that, man, check out 8035 alone.
Yeah.
Any of those.
8035, 515. We got some great festivals.
They're cool, man.
Yeah.
So
they are.
We're talking concerts and festivals. What's the very first concert that you recall attending? Let's go national and local.
Well, I know who mine was. But we'll let the guests go first, and then I'll.
So
you're a nice guy, Steve.
Oh, man,
I have such low experience with concerts and shows and things like that. And my first ever concert was Slipknot.
Oh, nice.
Where at?
At the Well. Yeah.
Is that Wells Fargo or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at the Well, and this
Can't
was
beat that.
before.
If that don't say Iowa, I don't know.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's before we lost any of the members. It was their last tour before. I think it was Paul passed.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
I've never seen them perform. I've seen a lot of people perform. I've never seen that.
The biggest one that I've ever seen was Snoop, and I seen him.
Ooh, Valor?
No, I seen him in Vegas.
Oh, nice.
And it was.
That just sounds nasty.
So
was that after recreational
Snoopy
marijuana?
in Vegas.
Was it just foggy?
Prior.
Okay.
But it was foggy because at that point in Vegas, it was like decriminalized under like a quarter pound.
So they just weren't fucking with anybody.
So, like, you could get just a ticket for it.
Right.
Yeah, as long as you ain't out there trying to roll with the big dogs and try to have no whole pound and shit, you all right. Yeah. It wouldn't mess with you.
They're like, it's a fucking concert or whatever.
Yeah. And especially, like, so a lot of that's ran by the diamond trade in Vegas. Like, a lot of the shows and a lot of the things that go on in Vegas that I found out through living there is just ran by the diamond trade. That those diamond trader rich motherfuckers are so bored. That's what they do. That's what so the mafia is the original reason why the money was in Vegas. But the reason the money is still staying in Vegas because the diamonds are there. Like,
I didn't even know that.
That's where some of the biggest diamond trades go down.
Really?
In the world. And seeing it happen there, like, so I just worked for a company that set up stages in Vegas. And so that's where my job was, to just set up and tear down stages. And it was a couple event centers and stuff that I worked through. But again, I was doing independent work and stuff, so I didn't have to have a sheriff's license is what it's called to work in a casino.
Sure.
So you have to have like a specific license to work in a casino, like background checks and all that, because you're around so much money. And I didn't want to have to do all that shit. And so I just was working as an independent contractor, and I just set the stages up and put them down, but I got to see Snoop for free out of the deal.
Nice.
And I got to go to the American Porn Awards out of it,
okay.
too.
Yeah,
which was
AVN Awards.
Which is pretty crazy.
That's what's
up.
up.
It's pretty crazy. And I don't know, I was young enough to appreciate it. That's
right.
for damn sure.
He said I was young enough to appreciate it.
It was a good time.
I think we talked about it at our first concerts and shit, but we can rehash it. Where was yours?
So I was in California. I was staying out there with my grandparents, and it was at the Paris County Fairgrounds in Paris, California. And I saw Weird Al, and he came out in the fat suit, and he did the I'm fat, and you better be good or I'll sit on you.
Yeah, that's
you know
crazy.
what I mean? He did the
How old
living
was
in
you,
the
you
bridge.
think?
Oh shit, I was like 11.
No shit.
Yeah, my grandparents took me to let me run around the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
And I just kind of moseyed off, and they had a free concert, and I went in there, and it was cool as fuck. I mean, that was back when Green Al. What the fuck is his name?
Weird Al?
Weird Al.
Yeah.
Weird Al was on MTV. And
So
you know
he was
what I mean?
some type of a figure.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
he was huge. I mean, I don't think at that
he was
point
big at that time.
he hadn't quite done the Gangsta's the Amish Paradise joint.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, he was just coming off being an MTV VJ, and like
That's
he was a big deal, and he was remixing everybody's shit. He did Living in the Fridge, Aerosmith shit. He did fuck. I mean, you name it. There was
he was tearing everybody's stuff up.
Yeah.
He redid Eminem stuff. He was redoing Mariah Carey's stuff.
So he was on like the forefront, and like even people that didn't want him to do the shit, you know what I mean? There was lawsuits and shit, but he had Sony or whoever backing him, and so it was like, nobody's gonna fuck him up.
Yeah.
And so he just kept doing his thing. So yeah, that was cool for me.
He was like the successful Tom Green of music. Like he was like totally like a Tom Green, and then like a Nardwar, like somewhere in between.
That's fair as fuck.
The very first dude started parodying music.
Yeah.
Nobody had really. I mean, I can't think of anybody that had done it on a level that he did. I mean, I'm sure there were other people that tried it, but he took that shit to the top.
No, he drove that shit home. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I said my first concert ever was Immature, the R&B group Immature.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The Little Kids from House Party at Vets Auditorium in Des Moines, Iowa.
Nice.
Okay. Nice.
I want to say me, my brother, my mother, a couple of my aunties, a couple of my little cousins and shit. And
that's dope.
I got to meet the Power Rangers at Vets when I was 10.
We did that too.
Nice.
Yeah,
we did that too.
Fire.
You know what I mean?
I messed with that.
I missed out. I never got to meet a Power Ranger.
I did. I got to meet a Power Ranger.
Man, that's just crazy, dog.
Yeah,
man.
I messed with that. And then back when WCW went there, I went a couple of times to WCW. And then it took us forever to get a WWE, like WWF at the time.
Yeah.
But they like I remember like maybe it was sold out and I couldn't get tickets the first couple times they came. But when they finally did like a Monday Night Raw here, I think it was like, man, it was years later. It was years after the fact.
My cousin Juno used to take us to the WWF events when we was young teens, me and my brother.
And it would be like a Tuesday, non-televised, you know?
Yeah,
like a midweek non-televised. Like
you know you ain't giving Des Moines the big shit.
Yeah.
In between Minneapolis and Chicago, they were like, we'll just pick up some
tomorrow night. They're bringing out Hogan and Macho Man.
Yeah.
Fucking tonight y'all getting, you know what I'm saying? Who? I don't even know. I was going to say some random ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's literally somebody that never made it to TV. I remember they had a dude come out in like the opening.
The
whatever.
Repo Man.
He was called the Hard Worker.
Doll.
Yeah, the
hard worker. And the dude came out. The dude came out in overalls, dog. And he looked like he was just from Iowa. Like they just were like, "Hey, we don't have a dude for this one. Do you want to be up there?" And dude was like, "I got you." What's your name? The Hard Worker.
Look, people in the Midwest will love this.
Yeah.
He's a hard worker.
You should have just threw blue collar in there somewhere, man. Everybody would have went crazy. I remember that. I was young too, and I remember that. I was like, "That's a horrible name. Like, there's no creativity there."
So for people that don't know, if you fuck with Big Ray West and GFG Records and GFG TV, you might be familiar with. This is the man behind the scenes. This is the guy that makes everything happen at GFG TV. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you talk about our relationship a little bit, man? Working with GFG Records and GFG TV and the work that you do for us and how you make our channel pop.
So, what are we on year 3 now working together? Is it 3?
Shit, something like that.
3, maybe? I think it's year 3. We initially started working together over a music video.
Yeah.
And we chatted it up a little bit while we were filming. And you mentioned something about a podcast or filming some content for your show.
Yeah.
And that you had filmed like a pilot for it, or you guys had like filmed yourselves, interviewed yourself or something along those lines. And I was super interested, I'll be honest, because ever since I did the 2MC stuff, I was interested.
Yeah.
And then, like that first music video, the Fucking With My Flow video, video, like...
Shout out K.A. and T-Bear.
And the song and everything was so crazy. And then it was just a really good experience. Like, I think I got to meet, like, somebody's, like, grandmom, like, that first day. Like, we were out
my
outside.
grandmama.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know. I just felt like family.
Yeah.
And y'all treated me like family, like,
Absolutely.
real well and shit. So, and, like, I had heard of you many years prior, but I hadn't, like, actually met you. I'd been at some shows, like some battles and stuff where you had been, but never had ever spoken, or had the opportunity. So that was like a door open at that point. So from that point, my interest in everything is that I just seen you as a hard worker. Respect. And then you had like a group of people around you that were super talented, and you were talented as well. And I just wanted to keep working with you guys. And then over the few years, man, working, like, we have filmed, I don't even know how many episodes now. Like, we're easily over 50 out of 70. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, they split
That's
up.
The range. That's the range.
Yeah, man. I enjoy it. It's a good release, and it's something that I enjoy doing. That you don't get to just sit there and just ask somebody a whole bunch of questions without them taking you to the police. You know what I mean?
Hey, and they be calling him Vlad too.
They did. And I worked right through that shit. Like, I didn't let it affect me
let me say, I write the questions, guys. I write the questions. Yeah. He's just the voice of JFG TV.
Yeah. So a lot of that, and too, like, there's been tough questions for me along the way. Like, there's been questions.
Yes, sir.
That haven't exactly, like, I had to ask your grandmother about how racism was and, like, growing up and stuff, like, and that stuff wasn't easy for me, but it also made me grow as a person, like, and to be, you know what I mean? Because I can't be ignorant to things that are realities, you know what I mean? And I can't desensitize myself to just corner myself and just be scared of it, like, because that was a lot of, like, asking that question, I don't think you realize how much I was waiting. I wanted to hear her response. I'd be
throwing your ass in the fire, Jack.
I was scared. I thought it was either gonna go like one of two ways. Like, either she was gonna go, "Well, listen here, you racist piece of shit," for even fucking asking me that.
It was him. He wrote it.
Yeah.
He wrote it.
And then for two, I was just genuinely like, did you have to live with a lot of racism? Like, is that something that you had to? I haven't had to live with that, and that's something that, like, if that's something that you had to live through, and that's something that you've had to live through, like, I hate that had to happen to you. Yeah. And that, and that was more so my thought coming through. But there were some tough questions, and there's been tough. I've had to ask hardcore gangsters, like straight up, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like, I asked that question.
Tell us about the crimes you committed.
Yeah, right. You know how, like, uncomfortable.
Did y'all do that?
Like,
I missed some episodes.
No,
I got to tune in.
No.
Got real marble.
Steve said he missed some episodes. He want to see that shit.
Anyway,
shit got 1 million views. Y'all lucky y'all made it out alive. God damn.
Yeah.
And I felt safe each time afterwards. I believe. I think I'm good. I don't think anybody's after me.
No, man, we definitely appreciate everything you do at GFG TV, dude.
I thank you, man. And he said that, like, I do. Nah, man, this dude's a hard worker. I needed to correct him on that. Like, he's a hard worker. He is not just a hard worker because, like, just to work. Like, he works towards his craft, and he's passionate about it. And that's why I'm proud to team and have my name associated with anything that GFG does. Respect. And you are the driving force of GFG. If it's GFG TV, if GFG Records, I'm going to be honest, like, you make, even your team, you push, you know what I mean? You don't let them slouch, you don't let them, and he expects a lot of people around him, and that's why I like working with him. He keeps a high standard, and two, like, I got to get back into this fantasy football next year and reclaim my name because I had a bad year.
Oh, shit.
I had a bad year. But let's say this, at least my playoff record is still really good, even though I was in the losers bracket of the playoffs. But my playoff record ain't bad.
Man, I ain't talking sports, man.
No.
So,
yeah, I know. Jets was never there, so you might feel bad, and I feel worse.
Yo, I wanted to touch on this real quick. Did any? So I was at work and I didn't really get a chance to see it, but I caught the highlights. Did anybody catch the Grammys? Was it yesterday, day before?
No.
So there was a dope little segment dedicated to hip hop, and hip hop's 50th birthday comes up in August. Okay. So big shout out to hip hop. Being a hip hop podcast, we
shout out hip hop.
Had to bring this up. They brought out LL Cool J, Run DMC, and a handful of other super important MCs that contributed to the culture and just contributed to music in general. And you know, from what I saw in the little highlight reel that somebody had thrown together, I didn't get to see the full clip. I'm still trying to scour the internet and find me something somebody posted that's got the whole little section up there. But it looked dope as fuck. You know what I mean? It was a true montage of hip hop with some of the pioneers that really came through and held it down.
That's dope.
And you know, so I saw that yesterday. I think and shout out to my wife. My wife queued me up on it a little bit too. She was like, "Yo, you're definitely gonna have to check out the Grammys." It was the 65th Grammys, and apparently Beyonce won a record number of awards. She broke the record for the most awards ever received.
Wow.
So that's kind of cool, but
congratulations to
for sure
Queen B.
But on the same tip, you know what I mean. The hip hop shit is just a whole nother level. And then actually on that same note, even I was scrolling through IG today, and the homie Tech9 had posted a screenshot of LL Cool J on stage. And I think so. LL Cool J owns Rock the Bells. Originally, I don't even know. Either way, there was another dude that had Rock the Bells, and it was a touring concert festival deal. And I don't know if that was something LL Cool J was affiliated with or not. This has come up a couple times on the podcast, and I've never got a definitive answer on that.
Yeah. Rock the Bells and LL Cool J, I do believe they are associated.
Well, I don't think he was originally part of the festival. There was a dude named Chaz out of L.A. that had ran the festival. He put a whole documentary out on it. I have that documentary, and LL Cool J, I don't believe is in it at all. But he might have owned the company. But I know LL Cool J, Rock the Bells has been his thing forever. I think it was a song, right? And that was also...
When you say it, just rings together for some reason.
Yeah.
It just like...
Well, and I know he owns, like, that cruise we were talking about. That's a Rock the Bells cruise. The hip-hop cruise that LL Cool J is throwing. And see, now I'm announcing it. We didn't get our tickets yet. Now it's going to sell out. We ain't going to get our fucking tickets, bro. It's too late. I fucked this up.
Don't release this.
We're going to fight off. We're going to fight off camera, Steve.
We're going to have
over. I don't want to get away.
Now we ain't getting our motherfucking tickets to the Rock the Bells yacht fucking cruise shit.
I'm too poor anyway. You know what I mean? I'm just busy spending money on.
Man, it's actually affordable, bro.
Yeah,
it's actually affordable, and they allow you to make payments if you purchase early enough.
Yeah,
so
it did look
my
pretty.
House, but
I hear you.
they keep calling.
But so the homie Tech9 did a screenshot, and they had like a wall of like TVs or whatever behind the performers, LL Cool J and Run DMC and them, and they had various contributing artists that had helped contribute to hip hop and mold the culture over the years, and they had Tech9 up there, which I mean. In my mind, that's fitting, but you know what I mean. You
in our mind, it's fitting, but it's still a shock to have hip hop acknowledge Nina Tech.
Exactly.
You know, I still
you know
like.
What I mean?
I'm still like that. Like when the main and the masses acknowledge strange music or Tech9, I'm like damn, motherfucker, shit.
I mean, homie's definitely in the Forbes list, and it was what 19, 20 fucking records deep now. I mean, he's an OG in the game for sure.
Angelic's still one of my favorite albums of all time.
So this popped up on Facebook the other day. While we're here, we might as well just keep it going. I think Ever Ready the Religion is probably my favorite.
That's my favorite.
But Angelic is dope as fuck.
Angelic, Ever Ready the Religion, and all 6s and 7s.
I think
all 6s and 7s is insane, though.
I think anybody in the Midwest, I don't want to say anybody, but he was definitely popping in the Midwest for a long time. So everybody that slept on him everywhere else, y'all can enjoy him now, but just know we've had him for years.
Yeah, that's the homie right there.
He's a genius just to the south of us.
Yeah.
He's crazy. And then
everybody he put on too, you know.
Tech's not a guy that just sat there with the keys to the castle and laughed. he shared that shit.
100%. Went back and scooped up homies from Kansas City, homies from Des Moines.
That's dope to me.
Young Fire.
How much
Young Fire
more
is
fire
featured.
of a human does he? You have to like. He's
Shout
on
out
the
Young
Forbes
Fire.
list. He needs to be higher on it. I hope he just makes all the fucking money.
Yeah.
Hope he makes it all, because guess what? It's gonna come back to people. Like he's already proven. I don't know. Massively successful because he worked his ass off.
Hell yeah.
And the Strange Music, like, man, the Strange Music fan base is just die hard.
Yeah.
Like,
and they're marketing, like, for a person like myself that got to see the inside cogs of that wheel and how it all works and everything. I mean, their shit is on a whole nother level, bro, in terms of merchandising, marketing, Facebook campaigns. You know what I mean? I mean, they nobody was doing meet and greets until Tech Nine started doing meet and greets. He pioneered that whole setup, and then you see OGs coming out like doing meet and greets before shows now. Like I think Naughty by Nature was on a fucking on a poster I saw a while back doing meet and greets and shit. You know what I mean? Like, nobody was doing that until Tech Nine started.
Strange gave the blueprint to the independent game, no question.
100%.
Yeah.
And so as music went from labels kind of running things and whatnot to the independent game taking over and being way more successful, you know, more and more people adapted that blueprint and put it to work and really had the homeboy Tech Nine. You know, I mean, I think he's had Fat Joe, Snoop. He's had so many people come through the offices down there, the camp. You know what I mean, and come through and they put them up on game. You know what I mean? You go in there and you see the monster machines with the Tech Nine Strange Music logos all over them. They got tiles on the floor with Strange Music on them. I mean, it's a Strange Music castle down there.
Yeah,
it's marketing, baby.
Yeah,
and I mean, look at his city holds him high too now. You know,
hell yeah,
he's at the Super Bowl. Like, you know, look, he's gonna. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, he gets to see from somebody that was once considered like blacklisted because he, of the way labels work and the way he was not willing to let go of his music. And everybody wants to give you, that dollar, but you know what I mean? When you come full circle, those deals were ridiculous, man. Yeah, artists getting their music taken, and that's horrible.
Being a young teenager, you know what I'm saying, a black dude growing up in my community, I can definitely tell you that Tech Nine and Strange Music to the, not saying I'm a gangster, but to the gangster community, you know what I'm sizzling, people frowned upon that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't listen to that type of shit just based off of his looks.
Well, and they said that, the spiked red hair and shit was off-putting to a lot of folks.
Yeah, like, just because what he looked like, you know what I'm saying? And the album cover of Absolute Power and, like, that fucked a lot of people up. So
I think a lot of motherfuckers came around now, though.
yeah.
He was like, unapologetic.
I was definitely bumping that shit back then, man. Yeah. And like I just remember back then, and a lot of older people, a lot of OGs saying, "Man, I don't fuck with that Tech Nine shit. Man, I don't fuck with that face paint, that ICP shit." You know what I'm saying? Like, they was throwing him all in that type of box shit, all that fast rap shit. You know what I'm saying? That chopper shit.
Hey. I mean, look at the motherfuckers he's working with now.
A lot of people used to hate on Tech Nine, and I didn't forget those motherfuckers. Them same motherfuckers are trying to act like they've been in line, though, nowadays. Though, like, man, shit.
I'm going to stand on one barrel that I've stood on my whole life. I don't like Too Short.
You don't like Short?
He said, I'm just going to interject.
I mean, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Shorty. Why you don't like Short?
What's the backing behind it?
Pimp. I don't know. Like, it just isn't my shit. I never, like, and it's nothing to hate on Too Short. I ain't even hate on the man. Like, do your pimp work, bro. Do your pimp work, man. Like, it's just not, it was never me, and I stated it back in the day that I didn't like Too Short that much. It wasn't my thing. And
is it the sound or is it the content? It's like, is it his sound or is it what he's saying? Like, what is it?
Like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to be honest. There was, like, maybe it was the circumstances in which I was introduced to Too Short's music.
Okay.
Because it was the two douchiest humans that I've ever met in my life, and they would not shut the F up about Too Short. And it's how I heard about Too Short initially, and I blame it 100% on them. I'm just going to put them under the bus and run them straight over. But They aren't even.
What were their names?
What were their names?
What were their names? But
why are we running them over?
Yes.
Hey,
but
shorty.
It was funny because I worked with them when I was 18, and if your name's Josh and I worked with you when I was 18, you a punk ass.
I just heard him get run over.
Yeah, fuck Too Short.
EmceeTV fucks with you Too Short.
No, and not that, but and then Too Short, like again, dude's super mad successful. There's a lot like his music genre is just wasn't for me, and I'm not gonna be the guy that'd be like, yeah, I love Too Short now. Like I was just kind of trying to stand on my hill.
I hear what
I
you're
said
saying.
I didn't like it back then. I'll stay with it today.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna be fake.
That was one of the first. That was one of the first CDs I got. I'm a player.
Yeah.
I'm a player, and I'm playing just to play.
Yeah.
I knew every word to that shit.
One of the groups I never really got into, or when I was younger, I used to openly say I disliked was Dipset.
Okay. You talking about Jim Jones, Cameron, and Joel Santana?
I don't know, man.
It's a dangerous road we going down here, fellas. I ain't saying shit.
It is.
Did you not like them because they were an East Coast version of West Coast music?
So for me, it has.
Is that a fair thing to say?
It has absolutely.
They probably
nothing
wouldn't
to do
think
with
so,
coast.
but it might be an honest critique.
You know what I mean? Like
I think it was just.
Sorry.
I think it was just the style of rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, Cameron, his style of rap. I just wasn't a fan of that style of rap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had hits, no doubt. Oh boy, like you said. You know what I'm saying? I think he had one back in the G called Horse and Carriage and shit, you know? Like, he had a couple hits, you know? I'm not saying they didn't make bad music, but I just never got on the whole Dipset train, you know?
I was a big fan of Joel Santana.
Yeah,
I like him.
Get with that. Not to say they didn't have talent, but it just it didn't move me. That's all.
I ran into him a few times. And actually, when I think Jay Shade and Sala brought him out here, and they packed out Valère.
Yeah.
And I went up in there. And
they were big dog status.
Oh, yeah.
They were big dog status.
Well, and not taking anything away from them by any means, but we didn't get a whole bunch of East Coast hip-hop here. So, you know what I mean? Somebody of that caliber comes here to do a show, and somebody from so far away, motherfuckers come out in droves because they're like, damn, we don't normally, we get some hip hop, but we don't normally get
name like that.
It's all the way from the East Coast, you know what I mean?
Name alone, probably.
Yeah.
And then Dipset was like really big with club style music at that time, so their music was real club like friendly, I would say. You know, it would be played in clubs a lot, so maybe that was another reason too. You know.
Yeah.
Well, what was popping in the clubs at that time, you know, would be in essence what was really popular for a lot of people at that time, because I mean, what else?
50 Cent had the world on Smash. G Unit had the world on Smash. Eminem, fucking, I think Busta Rhymes was doing shit back then.
A lot of music. You even had all the way over to Ja Rule and all his.
You talking early 2000s and shit?
Yeah. That's a crazy time for music. That's a crazy time to be alive and be a music fan.
Yeah,
like you didn't even realize what you was living in. You know what I mean? Until you look back, like, holy.
Yeah, early 2000s. If I'm remembering correctly, that was when the MP3 came out. Like, I think.
That's like when iPods like first got real, like the old little shuffle iPods too, like
the super analog looking little joints that only had like look like a Casio watch and shit. You know what I mean?
Clip it on your belt.
Exactly. Yeah, that bitch had like 3 words it would say.
Yes, it was horribly.
Yeah, them motherfuckers have come so far now. It's called an iPhone now. You can talk on that bitch, and it'll talk back. Hey Siri.
Yeah,
I gotta watch how she might talk.
Yeah,
everybody's phone in here is about to start barking.
So let me ask y'all this, man. What's y'all's favorite band?
Oh, I had to think about it for a minute, but as soon as it clicked, I got it.
Let's go with the guest first.
Yeah, band-wise, like if musical group, I will put my loyalty to here in Iowa and to Slipknot, because
Slipknot. He's a maggot, damn it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I fell in love with their music, and the atmosphere around it, and like got to be around some of it while they were creating with. I really tried to follow, because they started shooting music videos and stuff, and like I was super into film all the way back then, but like I was just didn't, I didn't have a way, and like I had came from filming on an old cassette player recorder that my grandpa had, and like I had like the same 4 cassettes for that thing forever, and like just like kept filming over the top of them and doing stuff, and a lot of it was like skateboarding, but like just to come to that, yeah, I would say Slipknot.
All right, so I'm gonna throw a caveat in there. So favorite hip hop band and favorite band. You know what I mean? So you can hit like with a Dipset or a Wu-Tang or whatever, but because I think I got one of each, so I was just you know what I mean. I figured I'd throw a little up the ante.
Group wise, like band wise, like if you want to say like hip hop wise, I will go all the way back, and I will go. It's hard for me to say that. Yeah, I gotta go with what Master P was doing.
That's a good question, Steve. I like that.
I'm just gonna go that because I
appreciate it. No,
I don't think any, yeah.
He had one of the longest runs with them. I mean,
so who'd you say? No Limit, basically.
Yeah.
No Limit.
Motherfucker, you could go broke trying to keep up with Master P's.
I'm saying that from a sense that I was a fan of everything they did at that time. I didn't think they had the best music. I didn't think they were the best rappers or whatever, but it was different, right?
For sure.
Their marketing was genius.
Classy
and
ass
P
cases.
was actually a good human, and he was treating his people right, and he was putting his people on. And there were so many record labels at that time that were just known for screwing people over and out of money. So I'm gonna go.
I don't know. He had that issue with Beats by the Pound.
He did have an issue there and some legality issues and stuff like along the way. But I'm gonna tell you what, like, I at least messed with what he was doing and where he was at that time, and I'll throw my respect to No Limit.
Yeah,
all right.
I love No Limit. All
right, I'm gonna slide in because I already got my 2 answers real quick. Just drop them.
Talk your shit.
If we talking band type shit, I mean, I go Red Hot Chili Peppers. I used to listen. I still listen to a lot of that shit when I'm out Uber driving or whatever.
Yes, sir.
I can jam out to that shit, going back to all them classics that they did.
How'd you get on that?
So my oldest brother was into rock and shit when I was a kid. Okay. Ugly Kid Joe, and I mean, back when MTV was the only place you could get some shit like that.
I don't mean to hit you with the question there, but how many siblings?
I got 4.
You got 4 siblings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 younger, 2 older.
Okay.
A motherfucker in the middle that was always in trouble.
Okay. Very nice.
But yeah, so my oldest brother was into rock music and leather jackets and shit. So I kind of, that was my original flavor. I started fucking with that when I was like 7, 8 years old. You know what I mean? Like that was my introduction to music, and then I quickly gravitated to hip hop once I discovered that and was like, oh shit. What's up here?
Did any of your brothers put you on hip hop, or that was your own discovery?
Yeah, on my own. Okay. I was over at the homie's house, and actually it was his brother, this kid Izzy Howes. I think I've told this story maybe once or twice, but his older brother had, I don't know if he gave him the tape or he just had it in the cassette player or whatever, but he had a 80s era boombox, you know what I mean, a big old school cassette player, and we were sitting on the stairs. I can see this vividly in my fucking mind right now. And he was playing 2 Live Crew.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I was probably, I don't know, 10 or whatever. And was like, they were like, suck my cock and I eat your pussy. And I was like, what is this? Like, how do we get more of this?
Yes.
You know what I mean? As a little kid.
Say it again.
Coming up on some puberty. And like, they're saying these words I'm not supposed to say. And I'm like, what is? I ain't never heard no shit like this. Like,
never ate no pussy at that age.
He's like, I can relate to this shit right here.
He's saying it from the heart.
Yeah. Say it again.
Motherfucker said it with authority.
I can't say it, so you say it twice.
Say it one more time. Come on, Uncle Luke. Come on, Uncle Luke. My mom's like, you don't have an Uncle Luke.
You don't have
I do now.
Yes, I do.
I do now.
Yes, I do.
Hey, that's... His mom say you don't have Uncle Luke.
But
I'm adopted.
Hell
definitely related to Uncle Luke.
That is hilarious.
My God. I think he's a preacher now.
Man.
But and then if we go bands, I gotta go D12.
D12.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Because you got a nice mix of the bars and like the wild party and shit, and then like a little bit of like they had everything up in there. Bizarre was on some weird shit. Proof was on some bar game shit with a little thug up in there. You know what I mean? And like M was pushing the bar game, and then fucking Swift McVeigh would come through with a dope ass bar scheme. You know what I mean? And Kaniva. You know what I mean? I just shout out D12. You know what I mean?
Said the Dirty Dozen.
The Dirty Dozen.
I ain't heard that in a minute.
I think I actually just saw it, and that's why as soon as we said this, I was like, I got to throw this in here because it was fresh on my brain. I was just down in my basement. You remember back in the day when like Sam Goody or somebody would drop some new music, they would do they would blow up an album cover or whatever, and it would be on like that foam core shit. So it would have like a couple millimeters of like foam behind it, and it would be the album art.
Yeah.
And it was like, I got one that's probably 4 foot by 4 foot of the D12 world, or not even the D12 world. It's the Book of Matches that's catching fire. Is that D12 world? I think maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Mm-hmm. That's tight though.
Yeah, and I got it off the homie. I got to shout out to my dude Huevos. I got it off my dude Aaron Pelkey.
Yeah.
Fucking so long ago. I got it probably 2003, and I've toted that bitch around the country with me. And yeah, I've had it forever. So, but that was fresh on the brain. So as soon as we started talking bands, I was like, who my name is? I'm quietly thinking, and then I was like,
lead singer of the band.
Don't even know the name of my band.
I'm the lead singer of my band. My salsa makes all the ladies.
Okay. All right, Ray.
Damn.
You in the hot seat, dog.
Okay. So, I'm going to go hip-hop first.
Okay.
We're saying bands. I've never even heard, and for the record, this is my first time ever hearing hip-hop bands, that term. I've never heard that term. So, yeah, that's cool.
I guess mentally I'm thinking like a collective, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean, but I've never heard that term, so that's
sure.
dope. I like that. I like that. I'm not going to disrespect my group, so I'm going to say my group first. The group is the Dog Pound, okay? I'm a Dog Pound baby. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody fucking with Daz and Corrupt, all right? You ain't fucking with Daz and Corrupt, all right? Mm-hmm. So bands will go, hip-hop bands. I'm going to be a Bone Thugs and Harmony guy.
Ooh, I like it.
You know, that's hard to fuck with. That shit wasn't nobody making music like that. I've never heard anything like that in my entire life.
It's the first of the month.
And if you listen to today's hip-hop, a lot of today's shit is very melodic and sing-songy like they were doing way back then. You know what I'm saying? So, Bone Thugs and Harmony for hip-hop, and then...
I like that.
Band. It has a lot of hip-hop influence, but I will have to say Mayday, dog.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Mayday from Strange. I'm pretty sure they're not on Strange anymore, but
I like that. That's a good answer.
Them,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mayday was
I fuck with
Burns,
Recognize,
Mayday.
Burns and them. Yeah, dog. I like what them motherfuckers do. I love they sound.
Yeah. They put on a hell of a show, too.
Yeah, they do. I seen them a few times.
Yeah.
I love, man. They get to play them instruments and then Recognize, get out there snapping and feeling this.
Yeah.
That's a motherfucking vibe, boy. You pull that joint out your ear and it's on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a vibe. Bro, that was a good call. That was a good call. I like that.
I love Mayday,
Respect.
dog.
Hell yeah.
And then honorable mention, I'll say Sublime.
Oh, yep. That's another good one. Because they got kind of that hip hop, you know what I mean, with the DJ scratching and shit.
Yeah.
And that Long Beach flavor. Yeah, that's a good
Sublime,
one. Matter of fact, my pops, shout out to my pops, grew up in Orange County.
Yeah.
And I got him a Sublime CD for Christmas one year. And he's an old metalhead or rock dude or whatever. You know, I shouldn't say metalhead because he's looking like classic rock and shit from his era or whatever, right? But he was fucking with that Sublime. He was like, oh, yeah, I fuck with this. So.
I messed with Green Day back in the day heavy. I messed with Green Day, but Sublime was kind of poppy. Like,
I know a little bit of Green Day.
Just poppy punk. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people, like, if you like punk music, like, Sublime was the pop version of it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
And I'm not too into the trenches to even know that. You know what I'm saying? To compare it, I don't know shit to compare it to.
They got classics. That's
yeah.
You know,
Santeria.
Like, yep.
They got some crazy.
See, now you speaking my language, boy.
Yeah.
Speaking my language, boy.
So in hip hop news, Lil Wayne got a global. Oh fuck! I gotta cheat on this one. my phone's so far. Lil Wayne got an award right before the Grammys, and he was given the Global Influence Award. That's not the word, but it's something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. For his years of adding to music culture and things like that, and I guess Drake.
Baby.
Yeah. Drake came
Please
out.
say the baby.
Drake came out and he sent him a little video message or whatever, and gave him a shout out, and said, the culture wouldn't be the same without you. All the years of
Drake wouldn't be here without him.
Yeah, wait, and he came out right off the bat and said that. You know what I mean? Like, you've done so much for me and my family and everything like that. And take it, love it or hate it, Drake wouldn't be here without him.
Yeah, if you like Drake, you cannot hate on Wayne.
Right.
You can't do it. You could hate him maybe if you don't like his music or something individually. If you're crazy. I don't know, 6 foot, 7 foot. Just go listen to that or something. You know what I mean?
I mean, Lil Wayne is one of those guys, man.
Crazy, like
he's one of those
through
guys.
the years. Like, go back to Fireman. Fireman. Like, he's got music from decades.
And I grew up
crazy good.
I grew up fucking with Weezy, cause I remember I went to Callahan Middle School, okay, and I would say probably 7th, 8th grade. I had a friend named Adrian Henderson, Ace B. Shout out Ace B. You know what I'm sizzling? And he was from Arkansas, and he was real on the down south music. You know what I'm saying? The No Limit and the Cash Money battles, and you know what I'm saying? I feel like, if I remember correctly, he was more on the Cash Money side.
Yeah.
So him being my friend and staying the night at my house, you know what I'm saying? I was listening to the Hot Boy CD. I had the access to the Hot Boy CD, the Lil Wayne Get Off the Corner and The Block Is Hot.
Yeah, Juvenile,
you know what I'm saying? BG, Turk,
Yo.
Young and Thuggin', you know what I'm saying? Big Timers. So I got a lot of experience in the Cash Money field to my homeboy. So
and touching on that same, not to interrupt, but touching on that same topic we were doing earlier, No Limit and Cash Money were back to back in that era. Yeah. You know, I mean, a motherfucker literally I was trying to get this thought out earlier and I couldn't quite vocalize it, but a motherfucker could literally go broke trying to keep up with their release dates because they were both they were dropping so many records and they were all on that same like foil covered looking. You know,
nigga, how about this? They was in the same state and they don't even fuck with each other.
Right.
And they're still popping like that.
You know what I'm saying? They were all in New Orleans and they don't even fuck with each other.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like Baby and Master P to this day don't even do business.
Yeah. Yeah, there's never been a collabo or none of that shit.
They don't fuck with each other.
Yeah.
Y'all motherfuckers over there, we over here. You know what I'm saying?
So who else has gotten that award? Do you know?
I don't. So that article that I read that from was kind of a two-part because they were also saying that Wayne was so basically they were citing that he got this award and then he was at an after party after the Grammys, right? So he got this award before the Grammys took place, and then afterwards they had a big party, and they said that his party days were kind of over with, and he was just kind of chilling at a table with a group of people watching skate videos on his phone, like laughing. And he wasn't, you know what I mean, up politicking or drinking heavy or anything like that. He was just kind of kicking back. And so the real gist of the article was that he would rather kick back and just chill with his guys rather than be in the club partying like he once was. You know what I mean? And so his whole tonal had changed on that.
I think about Lil Wayne, another thing I always wonder is how the fuck he from New Orleans and he ain't a Saints fan. This motherfucker a Packers fan.
I didn't even know that.
Like,
there's some trivia for your ass.
From New Orleans, like you have a team. There.
He a Packer fan, bro.
Whatever.
And I want to say he's a Laker. I want to say he's a Laker, and they got Pelicans there.
He probably lives in L.A. now, so.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's valid. That's valid.
Hey, Wayne, holler at EmceeTV, man. We need to get you on here to talk sports, man. You know what I'm saying?
Questions we don't have answers
I
to.
had
guys informed over here.
I had a love-hate thing with Wayne for a while. Like, I was a huge fan of him in the early days you were citing earlier. I got to see him in concert with Manny Fresh and BG and Juvenile and all them dudes in Denver In like 90. I was 16.
That's crazy.
When the fuck was that? 96? 97? Probably 97.
Yeah.
Me and a buddy, I told my parents I was staying at his house. He told his parents he was staying at my house. We jumped in a van, and we drove 6.5 hours to go to this concert.
Shit.
And we was both on probation. We weren't supposed to leave the state.
Shit.
And the van broke down on the way back. It was a mess. Had to have my grandma come.
Dog, I wouldn't even be on this podcast today because my folks ain't having that.
Yeah, my grandma had to come get me. It was a mess. She wouldn't.
You bad, man. You was bad, wasn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little out of line. I've changed.
You said you was on probation, wasn't supposed to leave the state. You left the state.
You fixated on this little detail. These was big details. Went to the concert. You know what I mean? Went to the concert. It was cool though. Shout out to my boy Travis. You know what I mean? Travis went to the concert with me, and it was a good time. But then
I'm calling you probation.
I got
fuck this. I'm calling you pro.
He shot himself in the head.
That's rough.
I mean, I'm not laughing because of that, but yeah.
Oh, hold on. So now we got to touch on the shit.
He missed that. This is now hitting him.
Well, what I was getting to was I saw Wayne again at Soundset.
Right.
Throwing things. You got me in the hot seat now. I know
She's
what you
mad
about,
at me.
I know what you about
you
to
see how
try
he threw
and
my
do.
cup?
I know what you about to try and do.
Got a Logan Paul Jake Paul feud going on.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Lucky
we got him in the middle.
I'm gonna stay out the way.
I turned the logo away too. I can't I'm trying to go left. I'm trying to go right. I don't know which way it goes.
Oh man, I'm in trouble after this. I fucked up.
But yeah, you know what I mean. I had a love-hate relationship with Wayne for a little while.
Yeah,
and it was cool. You know what I mean? Like he was. I liked the whole Cash Money thing when they were doing it originally, and then when everybody was on their dick. You know what I mean? When it was like the best rapper in the world, fucking Lil Wayne.
I wasn't on him in that either.
I couldn't fuck with it when he was mixtape King Wayne. Yeah. Like when everybody was really.
I wasn't on the mixtape Wayne either. I'm not gonna lie. Like
that's all everybody was talking about.
I can't. I wasn't 1,000% tardy. You know what I'm saying? I was there for some of the.
Do you listen to his mixtape stuff now?
I feel like I need to go back to it.
I heard a lot of the Squad Up early Wayne, like when he had the group Squad Up and the mixtape shit was jumping and they was remixing everybody's shit, and the first installments of the Carter started cracking off and shit. But I would say probably around Carter 3, I was out of there.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe even as early as Carter 2.
I don't know if I'm ever really out of there with an artist. I've never been like that. Like, I don't. Whether you're popular or not, like some of the best music that I personally like, nobody listens to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like A$AP Rock. Like you can put on any A$AP Rock, like, and I will vibe out, right?
He's dope.
But you could, like I said, you could put on Too Short, and like I don't mess with it. Like it's just not really my jam.
Well, I put on a Too Short slap right now. I have all us in this motherfucker like, yay!
And that's just not me.
Yeah, you'll be working real hard not to move. Short Dog got them slaps, Jack.
Short Dog do have some crazy beats.
Yeah,
he does his thing, but it's just.
What about a sprinkling of Short? What a sprinkling of Ice Cube, little E40.
Get there, Steve. Get him there.
Short, but I mess with E40.
Steve, get him there, Westmore. Get him there.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. So what about the supergroup Mount Westmore? Can you fuck with that? Because you only got one verse coming from Short on there.
Get him there.
As long as it isn't Short talking about for 4.5 minutes and like about how fucking.
And it's not.
It's not? All right, then I'll listen to it.
And it's not.
I'm not hating. It's just not my stuff.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It's not me.
You don't need a...
I'm the dude that listens to music that... I mean, that stuff's more popular than the music I listen to, so maybe my taste is something that you need to go take a whole bunch of advice from.
Nah, man, your taste is valid because it's your taste.
Yeah,
amen.
But,
shit.
Yeah, just I don't know. I mess with E40 though.
And for some people, I mean,
and the Schwizzle,
Too Short. I'm a fan, but Too Short has some very graphic depictions of sex and different things. You know what I mean? And if you ain't down to listen to that for 60 minutes or how?
I'm telling you, bro. It was 2 dudes.
Damn,
that
Steve, the
loved
whole album
music.
is about that?
I mean,
I got introduced to the music through 2 dudes that liked Too Short, and they maybe, I don't know, man. It was just seemed homoerotic to me at that point, and I was uncomfortable.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry that these people ruined it Too Short. I'm sorry. Freaking forgive me, man. Give me a few more years, and this will all just blow over, and I'll give you a listen.
We're gonna sneak into Mount Westmore on the way home, and who knows? You know what I mean? We convert him.
All of a sudden,
Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Turn that shit up. Let me hear
I know
it.
he's all about like the whistles.
So let's do this.
Something like that.
Let's do this. Top 5 rappers of all time.
Okay.
My top 5, right? Like,
yes,
just
sir.
like what I mess with.
It's
like,
not going to be mine, boy, Dad.
It's like I don't do this whole like, whoa, Biggie, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't do that.
It's all you, baby.
Aesop Rock.
Yes, sir.
He's going to go up there. Like, of like all-time people that I listen to. Like, it kind of changed. So we'll start with Aesop. We'll move on to.
He's dope.
I'm gonna throw Atmosphere in there just because they're.
Oh, Steve likes this list. Steve likes this list.
I'm a fan of Soundset. I'm a
You say
fan of
Tech
Soundset.
9.
You say Tech 9. You might be on EmceeTV on Thursday.
Speaking my language.
I like.
Right.
And then I'd mix it up just a little bit. And
Like, where's he going?
Yeah, you stupid as hell.
yeah, I am gonna bounce just a little bit here because I mean I'm not just gonna like I like Underground Cats, I like all that stuff, but I would say
I need a recap. Where we at?
Aesop Rock, Atmosphere.
Okay.
I would say I don't want to give away a top 5. I'm being persnickety about this. You're gonna have my true, honest top 5. I'm like throwing some people away in my head right now.
I'm sorry.
Just
Did you
know
say
a lot's going
persnickety?
on up here, even though it doesn't look like it.
I caught that too. Persnickety. I like that.
You said persnickety?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna add that one. Taking notes, boy.
Right? It's going in the pocket for later.
Go home to the wife. Why you always being so fucking persnickety? Man, I was filming the pod.
Where'd you learn that word? Don't worry about it.
Don't you bring your persnicketies around here.
Very well, Steve. In a sentence.
And I'm not saying it for anything other than the reason that I just listened to so much of this man's music with Tupac for like every reason like that of his music. Like I literally like that was like part of my childhood. Literally part of my childhood.
Pot. That's 3.
Big Pun.
Timber Squad.
It's a good list.
And
Boy, Dad ain't no hoe, boy.
and I can't let it go without like throwing Big L.
Nice. I fucks with it.
That's where I lie. I
So
would rock any of their shit at any minute without question.
that's hard, though. That's
Got
a
the Big
good
L.
ass list,
Got
dog.
Got some dust too, but I got the Big L right there.
There it is. There it is. There it is, man. And that tattoo is still killer, my
I appreciate
brother.
it, dog.
Still
Appreciate
killer.
it.
You know what I'm sizzling? Shit, we done did our top 5 hell of motherfucking time, so we
We
ain't
did.
gonna get all into all of that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to know our top 5? Y'all motherfuckers better go watch a couple episodes.
Check the back catalog, baby. Check the back catalog.
There you go. There's a playlist, and you just hit play all, and you just let it go. You just start playing them.
Amen.
Get the dishes done, whatever you're doing with your day.
So let me ask you this: sitcoms. What are some of your favorite sitcoms, man?
Okay, I like this.
Martin. Number 1 all time.
Number 1.
Number 1 all time.
Came out the gate swinging. Didn't even
Yeah,
think about it.
yeah,
Already. There is like everything else is a second to it. Martin was my shit, bro, man, from the 5th floor.
But you only holding up 4 fingers.
Bro, man. If you know, you know. You know, you know.
Oh shit.
What did you like about Martin?
God, everything, man. Gina, like, oh my God,
Everybody
like,
liked Gina, right?
constantly. What,
Gina, Pam,
dude? Pam, man, Like, you always be ragging on Pam, bro.
Yeah.
You always do. You get that buckroot hair out of you.
Pam and Martin has some classic going back and forth.
The funniest shit I ever heard in my life. I was dying in tears. I would say that, like, I watched, like, a lot of like cartoons and stuff growing up and stuff. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was really big with me, so I would say anything like old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the movie, like the old
90s
school
movies,
like, you know, like actual movies 1 and 2, like those.
Yeah, fuck
those, like all of that's part of who I am, I'd say. And I don't hate on the new stuff, but I'm trying to learn it with my son. You know, I'm trying to go through it and learn some of that stuff. And I was a big fan of wrestling back, you know, so that was like a sitcom that was like real serious to me for a long point in my life. Like that was like a show that I couldn't miss. Like you miss what happened on Monday Night Raw, you don't know what's going on Saturday, you know what I mean?
And that's real, but that's dope, you know what I'm saying? Not to cut you off, but to go back to sitcoms, did you fuck with any like white sitcoms? What were some of your favorite white sitcoms? You know what I'm saying?
Bro, like I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't see white or black growing up. Like I'll be honest, another show that I liked Martin, because Martin Lawrence is my favorite comedian of all time. Yeah. Just because that I'm not a person of color. And growing up that way.
I ain't trying to bring it out like that, but you know what I'm saying?
Straight up, honestly, there's not really a whole lot. I didn't like Seinfeld.
No doubt. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Like, what about you, Steve?
I liked Family Matters. There's some other ones that I liked, but like my sitcoms and shit was.
I'm talking about the white ones, though. I want to know what, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I fuck with Archer, super tough.
Archer, okay.
Yep. I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm definitely on the Yellowstone kick with everybody else right now.
Yeah.
That shit's jumping off extra tough.
See, back in the G, for me, one of the white ones was y'all wasn't Married with Children, babies?
Oh, bro, Christina Applegate. Everybody wanted to fuck her, bro. She was, and
Married with Children.
The dad is on Modern Family right now. I can't think. Ed O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill.
What
the fuck? That's the GOAT, man.
Love and marriage.
I think a lot of that for me growing up was like time-wise too. Like I got to watch TV on Friday night.
Okay.
So whatever was on Friday nights, I got to watch.
You had the TGIF lineup. Yeah. That's why you said Family Matters and.
Yeah.
So you was probably familiar with Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World was pretty good.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad.
So that's my shit.
If we going deep.
Topanga is my lady, so if we just want to talk about all this,
there we go.
We'll fight about that later.
If we taking it back, I was a Beavis and Butthead kid.
No, me too.
I was definitely.
I tried, but my dad and my mom did not play that shit.
My parents.
It was a no-go.
My parents were asleep, and it was like it was after midnight or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of my routine on the weekends. Like slam a Mountain Dew, try and stay up. You know what I mean? And it was like catch Beavis and Butthead, and then MTV Raps was on after that.
Yeah.
And so Dr. Dre and Ed Lover.
This guy.
And so I had the playing cards. Still do. I've told a couple of y'all about it. So I still got the Vanilla Ice cards and the De La Soul and
that's hard as fuck.
MC Hammer, and you know what I mean, like them early '90s rappers cards.
I would have stabbed the Pope to be able to watch MTV at that time.
Beavis and Butthead used to expose you to a lot of music videos too.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Goofy shit.
I mean?
Goofy
a lot of music videos, and they had a little commentary through the videos too. It'd be hilarious as fuck, dog.
Yeah. And it was all MTV. You know what I mean?
It was all through MTV. It was all MTV produced. It was cool stuff. I didn't get to see a whole lot of it. That would have been probably a little bit later. I started to catch that stuff when I had MTV, because they did a lot of replays of the Beavis and Butthead as time went.
When they've actually they got a reboot of it right now.
Yeah, literally now.
Yeah.
Cartoon Network?
No, I think it's back.
When you say a reboot, like new episodes?
Yep.
What?
Yeah. Mike Judge produced it.
Oh.
Yep. They brought him back. He lives down in Austin they brought him back. He's got a new.
So it's like the characters like updated, the drawings updated, or is this the same format type of
same format?
Okay.
Same old school vibe to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's on the Paramount Network.
Did you like the movie?
I did.
Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Well, and
they did 2 movies, didn't they? Or one?
For sure, They Do America. I remember that where where they're on the bus with the old granny.
Yeah,
and the peyote out in the desert.
That shit was hard.
And actually,
that's classic.
Yeah, I mean, I was already vibing with Red Hot Chili Peppers, but when Red Hot Chili Peppers did that track for them and they're tripping out in the desert, and then the music video where they're on the roller coaster and
that's just hard.
It sewed it all together. You know what I mean? That just kind of brought everything I was vibing with all in one pie. You know?
Yeah. That movie was a big hit too. Like
it was.
Everybody was TP for their freaking.
Yeah.
I am the great Cornholio.
Yeah.
Shout out to my dude Brandon Aragon and Trustin Miller, because them motherfuckers was at my house every weekend. We'd be drinking Mountain Dew and watching Beavis and Butthead. Because their parents wouldn't let them watch it. My parents did not know we was watching it. They was in the other room.
Did not know we was watching it.
Mom, if you're watching this, I apologize.
Yeah.
That is funny, man.
Yeah. So.
What was the other one? What was the other with Boy Meets World? There was they just did a remake of it.
I think they did a Boy Meets
Full
World.
House.
Oh, yep.
Full
Netflix
House.
did a reboot of that.
Yeah, Fuller House.
Yep.
Fuller House.
That was
Shout out to oh boy that just lost his life, Danny Tanner.
Yeah.
What a fucking huge loss. I can't think of his actual name for whatever reason.
It's escaping me at the moment as well.
Yeah, huge comedian, and he was a completely different personality when he wasn't on Full House. Like he was dirty as could be.
What the fuck was bro's name?
Struggle busted.
Man, I can't think of it.
Bob Saget.
There we go.
Yeah.
Boom. Oh, R.I.P. Bob Saget. What a huge loss.
Bob
You know, when
Saget.
I heard his comedy for the first time, I was like,
Yeah.
Who is this guy? The whole Full House thing was an act.
I think he fucked everybody.
Like that.
I think he fucked everybody up in that Dave Chappelle movie.
Oh.
yes.
Yeah,
Never saw.
yeah.
Half baked.
Half baked. That's where I think everybody kind of seen him like, oh shit.
Well, I think he was
Mr.
doing,
Tanner.
he was doing the roasts before that, I think.
Well, I know that, but I'm thinking that put it on like a major level,
Yeah.
because that was in movie theaters and
Yeah.
shit. So
Yeah.
people that wasn't hip to his comedy seen him in that light, and it was like, holy shit, Mr. Tanner talking like that.
Yeah. He used to get down, bro.
Yeah, his comedy was twisted.
Yeah, I fuck with Bob Saget, dog.
Yeah, funny as
R.I.P. to
fuck.
him, man.
For sure. All right, so
Yeah.
you said Martin. We're going top fives right now. Who's your top five comedians?
Comedians? Oh shit. Martin Lawrence all
Let's
time.
go.
Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy.
Yeah.
The Murph.
Your twin, Bill Burr.
I get that all the time. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Bill Burr, he's just a machine. Like
Fuck yeah.
the machine himself,
you
Burt
can't,
Kreischer.
right? Yeah, Burt.
Burt.
Yep.
And I will do. Let's throw. I really do enjoy Rogan's comedy, like even separate from how damn popular he is as a podcast. Like I just mess with him all the way back to like when he had hair. Yeah,
Hosting
Fear Factor.
Fear Factor. There we go.
When
Appreciate
he
you.
when he about like beat the life out of that dude.
Mencia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Carlos Mencia was known for stealing jokes.
Yeah, he
confronted
did
him on
not
that
play
shit.
with it.
Yeah.
He did not play. And Joe even said, he goes, I think that hurt my own career, calling him out. He goes, I think it set me back a few years.
Well, he got banned for the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
For a long time. For
Yeah,
that.
he even said, he's like, that was like so minuscule. But he goes, people just had like a dark stigma that I tried to take down. Carlos Mencia, the Mind of Mencia guy.
Yeah.
He was fake, dude. He literally was stealing people's shit, like word for word, like.
Yeah, there was quite a few different comedians that I guess came out and said that he had bit their shit, and just like a rapper, right? If you bite a rapper's lines, obviously that person's gonna be you're gonna be mad as fuck.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, your credibility is everything as a writer. Whether you're making music or comedy or. You're writing scripts or anything like that. Like, that's like your word is bond.
Now, on that same note, just because before we get to any other top fives or anything, because we're on the same topic, what do you think about ghostwriting? Because that's a
has
thing
its
now.
place for mainstream music. It's been there forever. There's been ghostwriters on many, many tracks for a long time. It's how collaborations get together and put together artists, and they push artists forward in a mainstream light. And not everybody does it. I'm not saying every artist you know does this and this and this. I'm not saying that. But like a lot of these big name artists and these Shakiras and the stuff, like those are very produced artists, right? They have a lot of hands in the pot. So I feel like there's a place for it. But if you're in hip hop and you're claiming to be dope and you're saying that you with your and you got a ghostwriter, you just died on your own sword. You dead to me.
So what about Drake? What about Drake?
Drake doesn't claim to be some like. Drake is popular. He's gonna make pop music, and doing pop music, he is not the dopest rapper ever. He's not ever gonna be in the list for the dopest rapper ever. He's not gonna be on my top 5 for being a dope rapper. I think he is an amazing entertainer, musician, and pop music sensation.
The boy's good.
Sensation.
Performer. He's
The boy's good.
Yeah, but
performer.
I don't.
That's where I find
when
it.
I look at him, I don't go like, oh my god, his pen's nasty. So I don't feel any type of way about it. But like, if all of a sudden you were to be like, Eminem never wrote anything, I'd be like, just throw me in the freaking river. Like, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
What you mean Nas didn't write them lyrics?
Like that stuff would break my heart.
Yeah.
But if the shoe fits, like, and you're not holding it, we're not living in 1999 where the bar game is everything. You know what I mean? Like, like we got to be as legit, like, and there was even writers back then. There's ghostwriters, like Ice Cube was doing it, like, for people, you know what I mean? Like, it happened. I feel that it has to have a place, and you cannot be fake about it. If you're going to try to hide it, it's dumb. If it's out there and it's just credited work and you're writing and it's a team collaborative effort, I'm all for it. Make the best song you can. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to. Good answer. You don't have to bar out every time. You don't have to be this original super lyricist. Like, you don't have to do that. You could just make music and give credit to where credit is due.
Yeah.
Fuck with that. I struggle with it just because in the original. The original embodiment of this, you know what I mean? You had to write your own lyrics. You had to be able to freestyle and prove your worth on the block, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like an MC was broke or bred on that street, and that's not necessarily a thing anymore. And a lot of these MCs can't or choose not to freestyle, and that's not an art form that they would be interested in getting involved with, you know what I mean? And there's some dope artists that have even said that, you know what I mean? Royce the 5'9", who is I think it's phenomenal. With the fucking pen, and
Shout out Royce.
Yeah, can do some next level shit. Him and Lupe had that huge beef that was all over TikTok and whatnot, and or maybe not TikTok, but Instagram or whatever the fuck it was on, and it was all about MCs and freestyle and whatnot, and Royce was just like, it's not something that entertains me, and I have no interest in doing it, and whatever. But Royce does write all his own lyrics.
He's just being honest.
100%.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've freestyled with a lot of people. We had lots of episodes of 2MCs where we freestyled like good 30-minute sessions in there. You know what I mean? And like, I could take pride in knowing how to freestyle, but I can't take pride in knowing how to write tracks like Ray West does. Like, I don't know how to make music like Ray does.
Sure.
I don't. I don't have it. Like, Ray. Like, I see his, like, even if I seen Ray freestyling, I'm probably going to expect to hear that somewhere on a track because, like, I just expect that. Like, he puts out music. You know what I mean? He puts out music. Like, he puts out albums. Like, he puts hard work in. That shit's not easy. It's not easy just putting together an album. Like, you don't just go out there and just hit record and you're done and the one track is over and, oh, you got this magical. No, there's a lot of shit that goes into it. But.
That behind-the-scenes work.
But. The thing is that the one thing I've realized throughout the years is that if you want to know a freestyler from a writer is just as a freestyler goes, they're going to get better. And as a writer freestyles, they're going to run out of material.
Yeah.
So there's, and it's okay. Like, it's okay to be whatever. Like, freestyle back in the day was more so known as is that you had, say you had a verse or something along those lines, that this is a freestyle, I'm going to give this away. This isn't something I'm going to put on a track. So they would spit out whatever they had in their head, and then there's freestyle off of the top freestyle. Like, give me a word, So
let me
umbrella cello.
Let me interject real quick.
What I mean? Like,
let me interject. That's a topic I want to hit real quick. So, battle rap. When did it just become okay, or was it always okay as a battle rapper? Because I'm not too familiar with it. You know what I'm saying? That's not my arena. But it seems like nowadays battle rap, it definitely seems that everybody is writing. Nobody is really freestyling off the top of the head. Everybody's got months or weeks to study an opponent and come up with the best bars. Like, when did that become the format, the standard format?
Well, I don't know. I think that back in the day, like if you watch old school battles, I'm an avid fan of that shit.
So you can school me
if
then.
you watch back in the day, you would see motherfuckers doing this, like Ray West wrote that shit. You know what I mean? You ain't fucking freestyling, dog. You wrote that shit. You know what I mean? Making it look like you got the little pen game on your hand and miming at people and shit. You know what I mean? And so I think it leveled the playing field. If it's like, fuck it, everybody can write. You know what I mean? You can come off the cuff because you got to be able to rebuttal. And so as we go back and forth, you have to have some freestyle in there because I got to be able to rebuttal what you just said to a certain extent. You know what I mean? And so you got to be able to rebuttal, but it just levels the playing field because if I'm not writing and you are writing or vice versa, right?
Yeah.
Then somebody's getting the upper hand. But if we're like, all right, fuck it. Everybody can study everybody now because we all have the internet. And so unless you're just a brand newcomer that nobody's got any footage on, we can look at everything DNA did. We can look at everything A-War did, and you can write little, punchlines about his accent or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you can come up with your own stuff and start working those in and making it look. You know what I mean? Depending on your skill level, you can make it look like you aren't writing and pass some shit off. But I think they just did it because it levels the playing field.
And historically, there was still like a time, and I wish I knew the date, like December 14th, 1999. We were just like, it's okay now, because I remember back in the day too, because me and Dash would show up in Battle Cats like we'd go to Merle Mall. We were in Omaha. We were in Kansas City. We would pull right up to malls and we would battle fools right in the mall. Like we would just start like anybody. Like there were people doing music outside and shit. We'd pull up. We would roast them. We would just start roasting. We would just start going. And if there was somebody like me, we got in a fist fight with some dudes out in front of Merle Mall because this dude like started spitting, right? And he started doing all this stuff, and then he had a hook. And we're like, oh, he's spitting a written? Like how are you going to have a hook in a battle, dog? Like, what are you talking about? And Danny, our buddy, got like real mad about it and like shoved his buddy, and then like it started like break out. We got into this big ass fight over dude having spit written to us. So I don't know. I don't always know the date. Like, but yes, with like preset battles, like there was everything that happened back in California back in like 90, let's say like 92 to like 2000. Like that era of like how like battle rap like started to grow, and like then they started getting like some like mainstream guys that would come in and like test their feet, against like even like one rounders, that's like the one rounder birth, they would get these guys in and then they would just have 1 round battles versus each other. And that was back in the day, that was freestyles, right? So that's what we're considered freestyles, But then if you were to look at the birth of like filmed battles, was any of that really freestyles?
Yeah. Because I think the Blaze battle, you can look this one up. I got it. The Blaze battle by HBO, which was one of the biggest battles in that time, back when you still had to buy DVDs and shit. You know what I mean?
What year you think that was, if you had to guess?
Is this the stuff associated with Hip Hop Fridays, like when they had the Freestyle Fridays, like on BET?
No, this was on a way bigger platform than that. But I mean, the same type of stuff. The Blaze battle was
I'm saying like timeline.
Oh, maybe early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere around there. But even if you go further back than that, Scribble Jam. Scribble Jam, I've mentioned this a few times, So Scribble Jam was in Cincinnati each year, and it was the hip-hop mecca. And it was graph artists from across the globe and probably even some motherfuckers from out of the country, B-boys, MCs, and DJs. And they would all meet there. That's where the Rhyme Sayers came from. That's where Idea came from. That's where Eminem came from. MC Juice. My boy Black Pegasus battled there. I mean, this was hip-hop mecca. and this was Iron Solomon came from there. A lot of the dudes that ended up on Grind Time as Grind Time emerged and people weren't producing DVDs anymore. I think even Loaded Lux and some of them other dudes ended up on there too before they went to Smack DVD. But Scribble Jam was in Cincinnati each year, and it was at this little bar called Annie's, and they had the hip hop mecca, and they basically had a bracket of MCs, and so you didn't know who you were gonna have to battle. You know what I mean? Like as it whittled down, it would be like this dude got knocked off, now it's down to just these 5 or whatever, you know what I mean? And as it whittled down, your bracket got smaller and you had to battle this dude. And we're talking like pass the motherfucker the mic. You ain't got time to rap. You know what I mean? Like you're in a line.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's your turn, motherfucker. Get up there and rap.
But a lot of them even self-admit through that Scribble Jam stuff that a lot of that was like they had bars, like they would have bars, but it was considered like it was like a bar breakdown type thing. Like you would have like a bar, right? That was an open-ended breakout bar. Like,
you're talking about like a generic.
Yeah. So your punch-ins, because like most of it would be like, yo, your mama sucks and the pussy smelled. You know what I mean? Like some weird shit like that, right? And they would through Scribble Jam too. That was the initiation of that was on beats. Like
it
all
was.
Of that was.
It was.
Like on
They weren't acapella back then.
And then, so again, that's like another line that nobody kind of knows. Like
right, because you had to be on beat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and then all of a sudden, then people were battling. Like you were saying, with like, you know, when the World Star shit started popping off, like, you know, like
ladies and gentlemen, we're talking like, hip hop. We're talking hip hop.
Like, got its like start. Like World Star was like hip hop shit. Like it was like bad, like crazy ass battles and shit.
Yeah. Well, and even before that. So I think, I mean, if we're kind of trying like doing chronological, in my mind, anyways, it was probably, shit. Where were we at? So like the West Coast scene was bubbling, and I'm sure there were plenty of East Coast, you know, scene, but I think West Coast was definitely holding it down big time with the freestyle fellowship and stuff like that in the early 90s. They were battling real tough, and then like you moved to Scribble Jam and then the Blaze Battle, and then I think Smack DVD, which became URL TV. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because they birthed the careers of Loaded Lux, Hollow the Dawn, Meek Mills. I mean, all of these people were freestyle kings, you know what I mean? And they would just be in like a clothing shop in downtown New York, you know what I mean? Or in Harlem or wherever.
And that was
they
like
battled
two different versions of even battle rap at that time, too, because you came from the beat on beat battles, right?
Yeah.
Then it was like joke battles. Like a lot of the West Coast stuff, like they were like doing like crazy, you know what I mean? But a lot of that, too, was like more jokes. And then you got the... You know, you got the Smack DVD was where the gun bars came from. Like that's like the start of like, and even like Disaster and all those guys were still doing it all the way back then. Like before Scribble Jam was starting. Who's the dude that runs with King of the Dot now that does like their intro videos?
From LA.
Yeah.
The dude that always looks like he's drunk and shit.
Yes. Yeah. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's got the podcast.
Yep. So. He was one of the originators that took those West Coast cats over to Scribble Jam.
Okay.
He was like the Iron Solomons and who else was he talking about?
I met who was dude down in Kansas City that I messed with? There was No Can Do, but oh man, I can't think of old boy's name. Either way, yeah, there was a big collection of dudes that were out there.
And the bloodline's like still there. Like a lot of those cats are, if you look in the King of the Dot stuff, if you look in URL stuff, they in the backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like still there. They're
just like they were
at
at Scribble. They were all posted up on stage and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's some of the earliest battle leagues that y'all remember?
Freestyle Fellowship was probably one of the first. That was a collective out of L.A. That held it down for the longest. And then they were doing in-stores and stuff back in the day, like what was Fat Beats, you know what I mean? Like they were at Fat Beats and places like that, really holding it down, and they would pop up and do performances and stuff. But those dudes, you know what I mean? Those dudes definitely were crowned with some of the best MC. And then who was old dude that he hosted Rock the Bells for a long time? One of the baddest freestylers, and actually he's almost like he almost does it like as a gimmick, you know what I mean? Like he'll look for something to rap about on you, you know what I mean? Like, look at the chain on this guy, you know what I mean? Like he incorporates stuff throughout the whole. It was on the tip of my tongue. He's out of New York. He just hosts now, pretty much, but he's an old school hip hop head. Damn, it's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of his name. He ran with like.
We'll pop the name in.
KRS-One and all them dudes back in the day.
Talking about the dude that like always like rap like he was underwater and like. I'm trying to remember that guy's name.
I don't know if I ever. Oh Jesus! Why can't I think of his name?
He was a crazy freestyler too.
Best freestyler I ever saw. Like I saw him freestyle on Rock the Bells, and then I saw him freestyle with old boy from Hieroglyphics. In L.A. and he put it down, and he was literally like just grabbing shit off people and being like, boom, you know what I mean? Like totally incorporating it. Look at that, the Lakers hat, you know what I mean? The Lakers flat, you know, let's take it back, you know, and just incorporating you know, that was whack, but he was just incorporating random shit, and I thought I had his name again, but
for as far as like battle rap, like actual. I don't know, man. I filmed for a while, some of the groups and stuff. And what's funny is that some of the people that you see now, like in the big name, like URL stuff. Yeah. I literally seen 4 or 5 years ago on the small stage. You know, that's one thing I do know. Like as far as back then, battle stuff. I just remembered I was just battling anybody.
No, I was saying.
I don't remember groups back then. I don't remember leagues. I don't remember any of that stuff. I remember knowing about Scribble Jam and all the stuff that came out of it. And then, like, when first started hitting, so when I say World Star, like, World Star was owned by the West Coast battle rap guys. Yeah. And that blew up into something bigger than, you know, obviously we know World Star is what World Star is now, but that was for, like, battle rap back in the day. They would have skate videos and stuff up on there, too, because funny enough, like, those two were tied together for West Coast battle rap, but it would have been everything that came out of there and then Smack DVD.
Yeah, Smack.
So same sort of era, but there's pieces missing too because you didn't get everything if you weren't, you know, if you weren't on the West Coast, you weren't getting all the West Coast stuff. Yeah. If you weren't on the East Coast, you weren't getting all the East Coast stuff. You know, us in the Midwest, we got that nice mixture, but we didn't get everything. Yeah. You know, we got sometimes the most popular things. You know, you would get. But I remember Smack DVDs being sold right at Best Buy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or you go to Hip Hop Heaven and grab them. Yep. I mean, I grabbed a couple of them from down there. Shout out
Jermaine.
Jermaine back in the day, you know what I mean? Jay Shade was working the counter and shit. That's how I got to meet him. Shout out Jay Shade. But, yeah, I mean, I still have all the Smack DVDs. And even some of the ones that I bought off of eBay and shit as it was kind of fizzling out. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know if this is the real deal or not. But, they still played. You know what I mean? And they were putting it on. And that was pre-internet. You know what I mean? Like the internet was bubbling, but there wasn't a YouTube or anything. That's why they were able to do Smack DVD because as soon as it went YouTube and you could put everything up there, there's no point in pressing a DVD. You know what I mean?
Well, and now they don't even put anything on as far as URL. That's all on their own app.
Right, because they teamed up with Caffeine, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's all ran off there. So if you want, you know, if you're ingesting any of their stuff, they put like teasers and stuff on YouTube, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's all pay-per-view.
Yep.
Man, shout out Battle Rap, dog.
Yep.
So let's switch gears. So, you be fucking with the cars. We know you love the cars, man. You know what I'm saying? Ultra Mechanic up in the building. Ultra Mechanic up in the building. You know what I'm saying? You got a 3-car garage.
Okay.
Set it up, Steve.
All right, you got an old school, a new school, and a bucket. What you got?
So, new school, I'm going to have... I'll take that new C8 Corvette Stingray. Taking that mid-engine beast of a car.
I'm sitting here giggling like I even know what you're talking about. Like,
so
ooh, yeah, good choice.
The newest gen of the Corvette.
I recognize the word Corvette.
Has a rear mount engine.
You caught on to me.
Right? So it's the first rear set engine Corvette ever. All Corvettes prior to that had engines in the front. But it's funny enough, if you didn't know this, And Corvettes have always been a mid-engine because mid-engine just classifies that the engine has to be behind. The majority of the engine has to be behind the front wheels, which it does. It's always been that way. But I would take that new C8 Corvette Stingray. I would take that.
What color?
I really like the blue they got it in. That like real like I don't even know. Like it's like a neon, but like not neon. You know what I mean? Like that shit's just butter to me. I don't know. I'd take that and I'd leave the thing just as stock as it is, and I'd drive around like an idiot, and then I'd quickly take it home before I got arrested. But old school, I want a Oldsmobile 442. I
couldn't even picture it. Have no idea.
So the 442 was considered it was a 4-barrel with 4 on the floor, 2-wheel drive. It's 442, 2-door, 2-wheel drive. So that's what 442 stood for, in a sense. And it's just an old muscle car, old Oldsmobile muscle car. It was released around the time that like the late first gen of the Camaros and Mustangs, like the late 70s is when the 442 started to come out. Yeah, I just love that vehicle. Maybe like a Duster and then a beater.
Yeah.
Any loud Honda ever, I will slam gears in that damn thing and piss off your neighbor.
You want the overdone muffler? Yeah. You hear you coming 3 blocks away.
Sound like a damn lawnmower, and then you hear it for like a long period of time because I'm not going that fast, right?
Sound like a fucking
I sound like I'm going fast, but when you physically see me, still there.
Sound like a Mountain Dew can on a bike tire.
Right. Look at the old card on the tire.
Yeah.
Give me a loud, ignorant Honda any day.
I love me a Honda.
Yeah, I'll take that 442 though.
That's
like probably my number one out of all. Like I really want to try to get one of those and rebuild it before I graciously bow off of this earth.
So do you offer like mechanic services to anybody publicly or?
I'm actually in the process of this year. I'm going to be opening up my own shop. I've been in the process of it. I've been kind of compiling some stuff. I appreciate it. And it's going to be a tire change, simple mechanic shop that does diagnostics, things along those lines. Not doing anything too crazy immediately, but it's going to be mostly a tire and lube center for out where I'm from. The one that.
And where you from, player?
Redfield is the town. Yeah.
Talk that shit, man. Put your town on the map, man.
That way, you know what I mean?
Put your town on the map, man.
West,
Redfield
West,
up in the building.
So
you know
he's
what I'm saying?
west, right? So I'm west. 3 more turns west.
And even keep going west.
And then west.
Hey, we're on the west side of Redfield up in
Yeah.
this bitch.
So real quick, I got a quick update. I just had to shoot a little text to South Korea because I was struggling. And I had to tap in with my brother Cap real quick.
Big homie Cap. Shout out Cap.
It's like 3 in the afternoon right now. And I said, yo, who is this MC? And it took him about 2 seconds. And he said, MC Supernat. And
Supernatural.
That's exactly who it was.
That's the same person I was thinking about.
Okay. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I was racking
He's
my
nasty.
brain. Yeah.
Best freestyler ever.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
I feel like I remember him from like video games and shit.
Yeah. Dude is next level.
Supernatural, the voices that he could do
Yeah.
were crazy alone. And then he could rap about anything.
Anything.
Literally.
Yeah.
He's dope.
Yeah. So, all right, my bad. I didn't mean to steal it, but I
No,
just
it's
had to
all
interject
good.
real quick
Shit.
with that. Give
No
Cap
worries.
his little shout out. And
But yeah, and as that goes, I've been raising kids lately, bro. So anybody wants to know what I've been doing? Like I just been raising my little ones. I got little ones. I got one left that's about to get into school, and then after I get to that point, I'll feel a little bit more comfortable exposing myself and giving my time away a little bit more. But for as far as like legitimate centers, yes, I'll have a legitimate tire and lube center. It's something that's going to be just on a straight standard schedule, 8-hour type deal, and fair prices, good work. I don't want to say cheap prices because if you want cheap, there's plenty of places to go for that. But fair prices with good work, and yeah, you can come see me. You see my face.
And are you still shooting music videos for the Des Moines hip hop community?
I will shoot a music video for anybody that I can at least connect with. Like, so you have art, you want me to create you art.
Yeah.
That means something to me. So like when you know, if somebody was to reach out and want to work with me, I'm never going to be ignorant or say no. I'm not that person. Yes, the answer is yes. But life's got to work out that way. You know what I mean? Like I don't work for free. Like I don't want to put that energy out there. Like I charge for my videos. It's a fee, you know, it's a thing. But at the same time,
ain't it crazy that you even got to say that?
Yeah, it's a funny thing that I've had to say out before, because like I've had people that just assume that I'm gonna do something for free.
Wow.
And like, I mean, I don't even insult back. Like I just, you know, it is what it is. But no, I would never say no. But I like creating art. I like creating. I like to push myself into situations that I could grow from, and I love art.
That's dope.
I love hip hop. I like other music too. Like it's not that I would say no to anything.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody I've ever told no, like literal no. You know what I mean? I don't think I would ever say that. Yeah, I would love to work with you. I just haven't met you yet.
There we go.
That's it. And then favorite music video that you shot.
Fucking With My Flow. I love that video. I love that video. And what came from that video.
Yeah.
There's others that I do love too. Like I've shot some of the stuff I've done with Flea, Smooth. Some videos I haven't shot yet in the future.
Shout out T-Bear, man.
Awesome.
You hear that, T-Bear, man? Fucking with my flow.
Awesome behind the scenes nerd type of shit. What kind of gear? What do you edit with? What do you like Adobe? You like Final Cut?
I prefer Final Cut. For Adobe,
is there a specific reason?
Yeah. A lot of what Final Cut offers in its all-in-one package is, I find, damn impressive. I like the user interface. It's just an editor program. If you're going to get into editing and you want to edit videos or do something like that, I'd say go find Adobe and familiarize yourself, because if you're ever going to try to get paid, they're going to expect you to understand Adobe.
It's kind of the industry.
So I don't ever push anybody off to do what I do, but I love being different, and I love using what I love. And I love filming on Sony, and I love editing on Apple products. It's what I do. And so I like using Apple's very nice editor I bought once 5 years ago, and I never had to pay for it again. Whereas I had Adobe, and I was paying, and I just didn't.
Do they? Wasn't there an issue a while back? And I was kind of at a crossroads, and I wasn't. I didn't know which software to go with, right? Because I was super familiar with Adobe, and I had tinkered around with Final Cut at one point.
Yeah.
But then I heard like a bunch of people being upset about something happened with Final Cut. They quit updating it, or when they did update it, you had to buy something new or something. Like, does that sound familiar?
So
a few years ago,
Final Cut has been through many iterations to get to Final Cut Pro. And they used to be called Final Cut Pro X and all this stuff, but now it's just called Final Cut Pro.
Okay.
So it's basically Final Cut Pro's end game, right? I've never had to repurchase.
Okay. For some reason,
I'm on my 5th year of ownership, and here's the thing: they even let me transfer it from an email. So when you purchase things, it's accredited through your email. What I was through a school email, right?
Yeah.
Which go away, and I lost that email, and I couldn't access it, so I couldn't. So I just reached out to my Apple support with my old email, and I got it back like for free. I got all the stuff that I had paid for back.
Shout out to Apple. That's respect on that.
And I don't know. I just maybe I had good luck. Maybe that I had enough, tracking back, and I had connected my other emails and shit to where I got my stuff back, but I never had to pay for it. Like it came with my school, so I started editing on Final Cut Pro through school. I did all of my school through Final Cut Pro. I started working for a company that wanted me to do Adobe, so I went through Adobe. Adobe is very familiar. It's not far off from what
kind of same timeline layout. And
So if you've ever used any of the Adobe, if you've used Photoshop, you know, then you're going to understand the UI a little bit, the user interface. Adobe has a million different things that they are amazing. My God, like if I am dependent on Adobe and I don't edit video on Adobe. I use their Photoshop. I use Lightroom. Like the amazing things that they have. The workflow tricks alone.
yeah,
Like,
their software suite is next level.
Yeah, and then the way that everything interacts with each other.
Yeah, you can bring it in raw form, and you don't lose anything.
Yeah, you literally could keep every bit of quality all the way through your edit. And
Yep.
that's not the same for all editor programs.
Right.
Shit, what the fuck you use, Steve?
I'm an Adobe guy. I ended up going that route just because I felt like it was kind of the industry standard, and if I was going to commit to something and really try and dig in, that was the route to go. And I had the most experience with it. I dipped my toe into Final Cut, and that was kind of when I was at the crossroads, and I was like, I don't know which way to go. And I was going to build a new PC or buy a Mac, and I ended up just building a new PC, tricking it out, and going all in on it. And then I went Adobe. But Adobe, you can do it because I built the PC. That wasn't contingent on going with Adobe because you can. Well, I guess it was because you can't. I don't think you can get Final Cut for Windows, right?
No, it's not a Windows product.
Yeah. So I would.
You could run a bootloader, but
Sure.
it's a little weird, a little wonky.
Probably even run it through Linux.
Yeah.
Y'all don't do none of that shit.
If I could ever give anybody advice on that side, if you have multiple uses for your computer, like Steve does a lot of stuff. Just a single video editor program isn't going to take care of what he needs to do throughout his day. He has so much more. Adobe has all of that.
Yeah.
It's literally a no-brainer.
Yeah, you can create
I'm
the
just a video guy. I just edit videos.
Create the thumbnail with Photoshop and then drag that in, and you know what I mean? Yeah, it's so integrated. And then After Effects, is that next layer if you want to go and learn how to do that and be on some Hobson shit and just do your own videos with whole lots of next level fucking editing. That dude's story with learning how to do that shit off YouTube tutorials is fucking crazy.
Didn't have the time.
Yeah, and commitment. You know what I mean? Just digging in and watching tutorials and a camera and a fucking green screen. And I think to this day he still has a lot of hands-on with a lot of his videos and shit.
Yeah, Hobson's dope. Hobson, I got to meet Hobson 6-7 years ago. Like, he was like the young guy with the freaking the contacts. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
When he was first, this is like before he really ever worked with tech. This was like when he was going around doing the indie tours, and he was like an opening act. Like, he was just getting on with tech, like doing opening stuff with them. And I mean, look at him. Look at him now, dude.
Oh, he's massive.
Shout out Hobson. He raps too.
Yeah.
Hobson's nasty.
Yeah, his pen game is fucking next level.
He's nasty.
Skills are next level. He even had like a couple. He had a cameo on Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Central Casting down in L.A. put him on Saved by the Bell. He's just a kid in a desk or whatever, but I think you can find it on YouTube.
That's fire.
And yeah, yep.
That's fire. He's a battle rap cat too. Like he was battling like at all the shows. Like, and people would even say like he'd be battling like locals and shit. Like,
yeah, his bar game is next level.
He's nasty. And then like the meme, like he was part of that meme, right? The bar meme and shit, where he came out and he like spit all that crazy shit, and then the dude's like banana turtle squirtle myrtle, and everybody's like, oh! You know what I mean? Have you seen that video?
I don't think I have.
Bro, it's fucking hilarious. I'm pretty sure it's Hobson, right? And he comes out and he's like, he just spits this nasty ass like freaking 6 bars, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, and then this dude came out and he's like, magic, wagic, fagic, hagic, hat trick, bat trick. And everybody's like, oh my God! Just losing their mind over the word shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, I don't even know what to do.
So speaking of epic battles, shout out to my homegirl Camille from work. She sent this to me the other day, and I totally forgot about it. But it's probably one of the most epic battles. Popping on the mic here. Ketchup versus mustard.
Ketchup versus mustard.
Have you seen it?
Never.
Oh, bro, I don't even know who the battlers are that wrote it, but the shit is next level. It's literally a bottle of ketchup and a bottle of mustard battling, and he's like, you know, I mean, they're just 2 condiments, and it's like an animated video or whatever.
Ketchup one.
And I think it's not even a judge battle.
Debatable.
It's
debatable.
Yeah, it's like
debatable.
It's like, all right, you know what? We'll leave it up to you.
Ketchup or mustard.
Child, please. Child, please.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know nothing about nothing, man.
I've never heard that though.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you after we're done, bro.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-minute fucking battle, and it's dope. It's dope.
I gotta know one now.
It's dope. Hey, you know what? If you've seen it or if you haven't seen it, check it out. Leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think, because we want to hear your opinion.
I gotta go check it out.
Real talk.
Check it out.
I think this was a good episode.
Absolutely, man.
This was fun. You know what I mean? We talked a little hip hop. We talked a lot of hip hop. We dug in.
Hip hop is life.
On that roots shit. You know what I mean? We went back to battle rap. We went back to Scribble Jam. We went back to Smack DVD. We took it way back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Scribble Jam. That right there, that just says it all right there.
Yeah.
My dog, man. The
Shout
board
out
dad,
to Board
man.
Dad. Hey, I appreciate you, fam. Of course, bro.
That's the man right here
yeah.
behind the scenes of GFG TV, making GFG TV happen, man. The board dad. So you know what I'm saying.
And shout out to these 2 guys. Nobody's talking about them enough, but these 2 dudes literally hold it down for the city. I know for the longest time you have been killing it on, you know,
Appreciate it.
between your photography and then now starting to push this and all of the work that you did. And I know you worked with a lot of artists around town.
Absolutely.
And the shows and just the support. This dude needs some support. He needs more of it. So make sure you hit subscribe. You ring bell notifications. Whatever you're watching us on, follow, please. And then the man, Ray West, can't say anything less about this dude. Like,
Most deaf.
Absolutely. Hardest worker I know. Crazy, crazy talent.
Without a doubt.
Follow his journey, GFG. And thank you guys.
Hell yeah.
Man, the board father.
I think that's it. I think he closed us out. I think we're done.
Man, fuck that, man. This is Big Ray West representing the west side of Des Moines, BIGG. You know what I'm sizzling. Don't get that confused with the coast.
And it's your boy, that motherfucking Steve, repping, holding it down for EmceeTV.
I damn near forgot my lines.
We've been known to snatch a piece or 2. Y'all can't take over cause we gon' eat the you. Rock steady like a ginger brought Aretha through. This shit torture and I'ma keep feeding you. On that East Coast shit, y'all better duck down. Price on his dome, 5 on it like yuck mouth. When the plug get knocked, that's when the price jumps. American Nightmare, that's where the Spice won. Rappers running like Ricky in the alleyway. Putting an end to the week, no Saturday. They want static, get it shaking like hash is clay. Passionate thugs mixing Douce with Alizé. Don't play with us. Them goons ain't got you safe enough. Yelling fuck 'em like Smokey off the angel dust. My life so real, sounds like I made it up. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up. Dangerous, softer than a razor's touch. We hit that script and get the cake up. God hate ugly, so ain't no saving us. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up. Big ball